Learning from setbacks is really an essential part of our personal growth and effective leadership, and no one can dispute that. When we analyze the challenges and the obstacles that we encounter in life, we can gain valuable insights that allow us to make better decisions today and in the future. And not just make the decisions, we can carve out the strategies that will help us to become better. So we must ask ourselves, what are the lessons that we will come away with when we face failures, when we face challenges? Did we need more knowledge on the topic or the situation that caused the failure? And most importantly, we want to know, how could I have leveraged what I know, my experience, to make it better? And many times, though, we are also tempted to blame others for the failures that we encounter in life. It brings me to a biblical lesson that I really admire. The man who sat at the pool of Bethesda for 38 years, when he was asked what he wanted, he didn't give a direct response as to what he wanted. He said that there's no one to put me in the pool. So in other words, he was blaming his failure for sitting there 38 years on others because there was no one to put him in the pool. Isn't that what we're doing in our lives today? Or are we taking responsibility, looking for strategies, thinking how we can manage failures and get over them? And so this morning, as we start, I want to look at what are the steps for extracting lessons from our experiences, our failures, and the disappointments that will make us stronger, wiser, and better. And I came up with a acronym. Dr. Howell is a master of acronyms. And this morning, I am coming up with one, Dr. Howell. And it is called, oh Lord, TPOS-ERF. Well, you probably won't remember that, but I come up with the steps that we need. First, we need to go through some thoughtful contemplation. We need to think first as to what allowed the experience that we're having before we start to draw a conclusion. Then for the P, we need to pause, because a lot of times we run along without pausing. Take a moment to really think and clarify and prevent hasty judgment and hasty decisions. And then the next thing we need to do, we need to observe the actions, both of ourselves and those who were involved, and try to push for understanding, and not just understanding. Let us apply some empathy as well. And then the next thing we need to do is to self-assess. Engage in self-assessment encourages personal growth and reflection, and help us to make better decisions. And the last two is we want to recognize and value the emotions, because a lot of times we get flustered and we become frustrated and things are happening. But embrace those emotions, because they help us to look deeper within and see what we can do to change the experience, and be honest with ourselves. And when we do all of that, we're certainly going to come away with a different perspective from when we started. So don't look at failure or challenges or setbacks as really a terrible thing in life. Sometimes it's the best thing that we can experience. So Dr. Howell, what are some of the steps that you would take, or that you would advise others to take, to extract lessons from our experiences?
I will tell you this: the most successful people in the world have experienced failure at some point in time, but their mindset has been different. And so a lot of times people look at failure as, man, I am not good at what I'm doing. Well, you're not supposed to be good at everything you do. So what you need to do is to look at failure as an opportunity to learn what was missed, what you didn't take account of, what you did not evaluate in your equation, adjust and move forward. And so the acronym that I want to use today, and you've heard this acronym before because I did a presentation earlier, is SAD. A lot of times when we fail, we feel sad. But if we remember these three little words, Well, these three little letters, it can help us to move forward. Self-awareness. What was your role in the failure?
Yeah.
Now, you also said just now in your acronym that you have to identify your role and the external role. And so you have to reflect honestly on what happened, identify both the internal factors and the external factors. So you have to have self-awareness of what your role was. Was I ill prepared for this particular activity, for this particular event in life? And if you were ill prepared, how can you better surround yourself with people that can mentor you, that can coach you, that can allow you to see where your blind spots are, that can help you move forward with a lot more information and with a lot more knowledge. A lot of times when people fail, we think, man, I didn't learn anything. No, when you fail, you are now restarting further along than you were previously. And if you use that mindset, it will help you as you adjust and move forward. So the A stands for acceptance. Once you identify what the role you played was, then you also have to accept the fact that you were ill prepared, accept the role that you played in it, find what needs to be adjusted, learn what you need to learn, and then move forward. But that acceptance is a big piece, because when we blame other people, as you said in your story, he blamed others for not being able to get into the pool. And so accept the role that you played in that process. A lot of times we want to do things, but we haven't done the homework. To be an expert in anything, it takes about 10,000 hours. Have you put in your 10,000 hours to be an expert in that particular thing? Or do you just jump on a bandwagon and hope for the best? And then last but not least, the D stands for decision making. But I want to call this objective decision making or effective decision making, because we all make decisions, but do we have the information needed to make that decision? So to me, learning, understanding, identifying all of those factors that are important, the specific lessons that needed to be learned from that failure, and move forward with a positive mindset towards growth and positive development and improvement.
Deep points, Dr. Howell. The acronym SAD.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's sad after a failure.
No sad points. Those are potent points that you just expressed right there. No sad. Self-awareness is the key to starting and to getting to where we want to get to. And so the second question we are going to look at, Dr. Howell. So we have this failure and we are seeing it. But how can we actually reframe it